What's good, my bros? It's your Bade Bhaiya in fitness, because today we're talking about my top 10 tips when it comes to teenage workout advice. So let's go. Tip number one, we're talking about the beer biceps mentality. As always, the mentality of winners is that they don't look at fitness as a short-term solution. You're not supposed to do it for those bulgy shoulders, those abs, that chest line, those traps. You're supposed to do it for yourself. Eventually, when you grow older, you want to go into your old age as a strong individual. You want to be healthy from the inside. When you're healthy from the inside, that's when your brain works the best. And when your brain works the best, you perform incredibly well in the rest of your life. Use fitness as kind of a base for the rest of your life to grow. That's how I look at it. And that will only happen when you look at fitness as a long-term lifestyle. You be serious about all these factors: your diet, being regular at the gym, just making healthier life choices, and you'll see the rest of your life getting sorted out. Remember, initially your gains in the gym, your gains from a fitness lifestyle as a teenager are going to be incredible. You're going to get bigger muscles very easily. You're going to get cuts very easily. But eventually your progress slows down. The more you progress, the more difficult it becomes to progress. And that's where the boys are separated from the men. A lot of people end up quitting the fitness lifestyle maybe 6 months into the process, a year into the process. Sometimes during exams, they'll quit it and never come back. Try being in that club of men instead of being in that club of boys. Try being that guy who goes to the gym once a week during his exams, through his exams follows a healthy lifestyle, is serious about his protein intake. Always look at fitness that way. When you're entering that world of fitness, it's a long-term change, not a short-term change. Okay, done with the motivational tangent. Let's talk about more easy to follow tips. Second point, you gotta be serious about rest days, rest in general, and not overworking your body. If you're gonna take up a fitness lifestyle, injuries are going to be a part of your life. We've covered that topic in one of our past videos, go check it out. But super quickly, 3 ground rules. Firstly, learn about your own body, listen to your own body. If you're too sore on a particular day, if you're too tired on a particular day, say no to the gym. Sometimes taking a step back might pay off in the long term. Point number 2, don't be that bro who gets carried away and takes every set to failure. We've spoken about failure enough on the channel. For noobs, it's basically when you're pumping out a set to an extent where your body just freezes up, where you can't push that weight any further, but you still try pushing it with the help of your trainer. That's called pushing till failure. You only want to take a set till failure about 4 times in your workout. So 4 of the total sets in your workout should be going till failure. And the final quick sub tip in this main tip is that if you feel that something's going wrong in your body in the middle of a workout, if you feel some kind of a snap, if you feel pain on one side, sharp pain anywhere in your body, stop your workout at that point. Check yourself with the trainer at the gym and don't try pushing yourself too much. Especially if it's one-sided pain, that's a dangerous situation to be in. Once again, watch the video on injuries. Point number 3, get serious about your stretching, get serious about your massages. This is something a lot of Indian bros in Indian gyms ignore, and in the long term, if you're not serious about these factors, it might lead to injuries. See, the thing is, when you're doing a lot of weight training, there's a lot of damage you're inflicting on your muscles. And as important as that damage is for your muscles to grow, it's as important to put your body in a position in order to recover optimally. So get serious about stretching in the first place. It helps improve your flexibility and it also helps relax your muscles at the end of a workout. As for massages, get serious about something like sports massages. Now, usually in Indian metros, we have a lot of sports massage centers. That's something incredible because just massaging a muscle, pressing it with a lot of pressure kind of helps increase the blood flow in that region. It helps release the muscle a little bit. Again, helps in relaxing the muscle. Very important to prevent long-term injuries. Take this factor seriously, and that's when we can move on to point number 4. Point number 4, we're talking about a very serious problem in the world of fitness. Train your legs and train your lower back. Just because you're not exposing your legs and your lower back to the world doesn't mean that they're not important muscle groups. Also keep in mind that if you are training from an aesthetics point of view, you're trying to look sexy, your legs are a big part of looking sexy. There's a lot of girls who will tell you that chicken legs are an automatic turn off. You want to avoid that situation, but don't just do it for the sexiness factor. Do it for your overall strength levels. Now imagine a completely buff upper body and a weak, scrawny lower body. There's obviously a strength imbalance. Moreover, when you're training your legs and your lower back, it's kind of the core of your body that you're training. A lot of your strength is generated through your legs. When you're squatting, when you're deadlifting, you're working the core of your body, and that strength from that core is going to have a carryover to the rest of your body. You're going to increase your strength levels, you're going to increase the numbers on all your other lifts when you have strong legs and a strong lower back. Also, from an injury prevention point of view, very important to train these two muscle groups. Made detailed videos. I'm going to link you all to the squatting and deadlifting, powerlifting series down below. Make sure you check it out. Tip number 5. I don't like talking about this, but the truth of the matter is that Indian trainers just aren't good enough. I'm not generalizing this. There are a lot of fantastic Indian trainers, but on an average, you'll see that a lot of trainers take up this fitness career for the money aspect. They're not really passionate about the subject. They don't educate themselves in detail about the subject. That's why the point I want to speak about is firstly, learn your form through YouTube. I know even if you believe that your trainer has the most perfect form and the most perfect education, just cross-check on multiple YouTube channels. We have our own workout coaching playlist. You can also check out a channel that I highly recommend, Omar Isuf. He's one of my inspirations on YouTube, someone I've learned a lot from, fantastic for workout coaching. Tip number 6, another massive issue in the Indian fitness scene and amongst Indian trainers is the use of steroids and promoting steroids amongst teenagers. A very, very wrong idea, once again because of a lack of education amongst Indian trainers. And secondly, the use of steroids in general. The kind of change that steroids bring in your body is temporary. The moment you stop using steroids, your body is going to fade away a little bit. You're going to shrink in size. You might even lose your motivation. That's another huge factor that I've seen with a lot of younger bros who've used steroids. I've been lifting for a while now and I've seen that a lot of teenagers who ended up using steroids in their teenage lose their motivation in the gym once they stop using steroids. Unless you're a professional bodybuilder or a fitness model, you can't really use steroids throughout the year, in the long term, throughout your life, unless you want to wreck your... Moreover, once again, go back to point number 1. Chase that long-term fitness lifestyle. You're doing all this lifting, you're taking up this healthy lifestyle for mental benefits. Now think about it, 10 years from now, are you going to be making your money through bodybuilding or would you rather be making your money through a business or through a fantastic job? You want to be mentally right up there. Steroids kind of prevent you from growing mentally in the gym. That's what I feel. Long-term mental strength is gained by staying dedicated to a process. And steroids, because it's a shortcut, it cuts away from your dedication slightly. That's what you got to keep in mind. I'm not a huge fan of using steroids. I've made a detailed video on the basics about steroid use. Go check it out. Not something I recommend, especially for teenagers. Next tip, if you've chosen to stay natural, you got to get serious about fitness science, especially in the weight training world. We have a whole playlist based on fitness science. Highly recommend you go check it out. It's extremely detailed, but if you want to take away one core concept from the world of fitness science, take away the concept of progressive overload. This basically means that over time, your body is only going to grow in terms of size and strength if you put it through something much harder than it's used to being put through. So if today you're starting with a 5 kg dumbbell and you're performing about 10 reps in a particular set, that's going to be alright today. But eventually, a month from now, your muscles aren't going to respond if you just continuously use that 5 kg dumbbell. Your muscle strength and size is going to improve if you eventually start either performing more reps with that 5 kg dumbbell or if you take up a heavier dumbbell. In the long term, treat fitness and lifting as a video game. You constantly want to challenge your body in order to grow. Perceive it that way. When you start looking at it as a fun process where you're constantly growing because of a difficult challenge that you're putting in front of yourself, that's when you'll actually enjoy the process, that's when you'll stick to it, that's when you won't be a pussy who uses steroids. Next tip, we're moving away from fitness just a little bit and we're talking about another important factor in your teenage, your overall height. Is there an exercise that you can perform that will help improve with your end height? The answer lies in Tadasana. It's a yoga exercise that helps stretch your spine. Remember just how basketball players in their teenage play a lot of ball and then their bodies respond by growing taller because it's their body's need to go closer to the rim. That's exactly how something like regular Tadasana practice works. Tadasana is performed by stretching your body completely. You start by standing with your arms on your side and stretch them up over your head as you're going up with your arms, you also raise your feet. You go on your tiptoes. At the top of the motion, you stretch out completely and hold that stretch for about 2 to 3 seconds. Regular practice of Tadasana will help with your height because at the end of the day, it's a stretching exercise. But it'll only make a difference if you perform it in the long term. So if you're anywhere between the ages of 13 to 20, take up this Tadasana practice. 5 sets, twice a day. Each set go from 12 to 20 reps of Tadasana. Take a minute's break between each set. It'll do wonders if you perform it regularly and if you're dedicated to the process. Point number 9, irrespective of who you are, irrespective of your genetics, your age or your fat percent, you've got to include a little bit of cardio in your overall fitness routine. Big mistake that Indian bros make is that they ignore cardio thinking that, how's this going to help my muscles? How's it going to help me in my looks? But that's not true. A cardio is a workout for your heart. And it's very important from a long-term health perspective to work on your heart as well as your overall stamina levels. From that perspective, take up cardio. If you're an endomorph, if you're someone who's prone to putting on a little more weight, cardio is going to help you with your overall fat percent levels, something that a lot of endomorphs like myself suffer with. And also, even if you're an ectomorph, if you're someone who's struggling to put on weight, just a little bit of cardio once a week is alright. It's not going to harm you. On your cardio days, increase your carb intake, irrespective of whether you're an endomorph or if you're an ectomorph. Also keep in mind, cardio isn't just doing a 6-kilometer run or it's not going for a long cycling spree. Cardio can just be a game of football. If you can play a game of football or even something like cricket once or twice a week, that's more than enough. Make cardio fun. 10th and final point, everyone starts somewhere. A lot of bros don't want to join the gym because they think they're either too skinny or too overweight or they're just skinny fat and they've got moves. They get conscious about it. Remember, your teenage is a time of your life where you are conscious about yourself and your looks, and that's why a lot of people use this as some kind of an excuse to not take up a fitness lifestyle. A fitness lifestyle isn't just going to the gym, it's not just about going to a marathon, it's about creating that mental change I speak about. If you want to create that mental change, it's only going to happen when you step out of your comfort zone. Step out of your comfort zone, step into a gym. Nobody is judging you. All those buff bros you see in the gym, all those super fit bros you see in marathons, even they've been in your position at some time. The only difference is that they stuck with it. Get out of your comfort zone, stick with the process, continuously educate yourself, and then watch the magic happen in front of the mirror. Remember you guys, if this underconfident and overweight bro could go from being from here to creating fitness and lifestyle content on YouTube, anything's possible. If you liked today's video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you want to follow us on our handles, they're right there. And once again, if you want to educate yourself further about fitness, that's what Beer Biceps is all about. I've linked a lot of videos in the description down below. Go check it out. Subscribe to Beer Biceps if you haven't already. From Ranveer and the team, we'll see you later.